During the fall, I get the privilege to be on the road a lot hunting for Deer and Deer Hunting TV, for my own, articles and everything. So when I get a chance to hook up with family, this is my son Cole, he's family.
Well, that's what we tell each other anyway.
It's kind of a fun opportunity.
I hear rustling off to the other side, and here comes up a 4-point. Look through the binoculars, he's a good buck, maybe not quite what I want to shoot, but then here pops up another set of antlers right behind him. A little bit better antlers too.
I'm Mark Kaiser.
And I'm Cole Kaiser.
We're hunting in Oklahoma, and
this
you're watching.
This is Deer and Deer Hunting TV.
Okay, now I got it right. Let's try this again.
Third time is the charm.
This is where it all begins.
My best hunting day ever. This is Deer and Deer Hunting TV.
During the fall, I get the privilege, the opportunity to be on the road a lot hunting for Deer and Deer Hunting TV, for my own, articles and everything. So when I get a chance to hook up with family, this is my son Cole, he's family.
Well, that's what we tell each other anyway.
Usually, in this day and age, you're busy, you're in the...
It's hard to make the meetups happen.
Yeah, you're in the U.S. Army, I'm out there trying to make a living at what I do, so typically the last, 4, 5, 6 years at most, it's been little brief Thanksgiving hunts.
Yep, trying to get time off, for me from school and you just on the road. But like you said, the last few years, it's just worked out for both of our schedules to make it happen over Thanksgiving, so.
So this is an enjoyable hunt. We're here in Oklahoma. My good friend Keith Daly, he let us hunt this unique property here down in the southeast part of Oklahoma. He's got outfitting businesses in Colorado, Texas, and Oklahoma, so it's kind of nice. He's in between clients. He said he'll be back, but here's the place, guys. Have a little bit of fun, shoot a deer, chase coyotes, and what's your favorite thing?
Well, hopefully find a hog out here.
Well, that's what we're going to try.
That's the plan anyway.
After a long fall of me being a road warrior, Cole, he graduated from West Point just recently. He's busy with the U.S. Army, and so we got to spend just a little bit of time together here in Oklahoma. There's some really good thick bedding cover. It's mid-morning, the buck should be in there. I'm gonna go over here and rattle, try to pull one across here for Cole to hopefully get a shot in this opening.
We saw does coming in right from the get-go, and we could see more and more just pop up. I think we saw between 5 and 7. I hear rustling off to the other side, and here comes up a 4-point. Look through the binoculars, he's a good buck, maybe not quite what I want to shoot, but then here pops up another set of antlers right behind him. A little bit better antlers too.
After a long fall of me being a road warrior, Cole, he graduated from West Point just recently. He's now in active duty, running around the world, hopefully, or not, saving the country.
They're keeping me busy.
Anyway, he's busy with the U.S. Army, and so we got to spend just a little bit of time together here in Oklahoma. So Cole was brought up in a hunting family. It's kind of obvious.
You? Hunter?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you know, from when he was a little guy, I took him turkey hunting, pulled him on a sled coyote hunting, and he shot his first deer when he was legally allowed to shoot his first deer.
12 years old.
12 years.
Yeah.
Do you remember what night it was?
It's Halloween night.
Halloween,
yeah.
exactly. Now we've transitioned.
It's been a while, yeah.
Our hunts now are Thanksgiving, but the first year was Halloween
It's
and
holiday tradition.
exactly. So why Oklahoma? Well, it just seemed to be a good central meeting point from Cole's Post, where I was hunting in Kansas, Thanksgiving time period, and so we knew it was going to be a speedy hunt. And that first morning out, boy, when daylight broke, I mean, it looked good, didn't it?
It did. I mean, we saw does coming in right from the get-go, and we could see more and more just pop up. I think we saw between 5 and 7.
Oh, it was busy.
Yeah,
it was busy.
we were thinking a buck was going to come cruising in, but you know, we didn't see one then. But you know, there's still time, obviously, in the hunt.
Yeah, it's going to be a speed hunt, but we were
Yep.
seeing activity. And the unique thing about Oklahoma, just like Kansas and Texas and several other states in the area here, is the fact that you can hunt over bait. Now, some of you folks may not be bait hunters, a lot of you maybe are bait hunters, but it does offer a great opportunity to bring deer into an area. And the bucks
Yep.
may not just stay in there and feed like you think they would, but at least they'll cruise through.
You're gonna see deer that you may not have seen otherwise.
Right.
They,
And so,
they may not walk right up and give you a shot, but
and that was one of the reasons Oklahoma was a good option too, because like I said, this was a very short, brief hunt. We needed to see stuff now. The big surprise of the morning was when that big cow came in with the horns. Now I'm thinking, we need to check the regulations here. Maybe that is legal in Oklahoma.
might be an exotic. You never know.
Well, exotic, and you got to protect the bait. So
they really did come cruising up to the fence.
They were thinking they were going to get
about
some
ready to knock
corn.
it over and get some corn.
Yeah. And corn-fed beef, or a corn-fed whitetail.
And it was, Thanksgiving, so you got to think about the food aspect too.
What are we going to put on the table?
That's right.
Because a couple of guys that really aren't great at cooking, maybe not.
Plan ahead a little bit.
Yeah, we might not have had the best meal. Well, that was a little bit of a slow morning. I was expecting, there were so many does around us. It's just unbelievable. A buck didn't pass through there.
Yeah, there's no shortage of does, but it's only a matter of time where the does are.
All right, well, you know what I'm thinking is we're gonna go down that brush down below here, and let's do a rattling setup before we go back and have lunch, then make an afternoon plan.
All right, sounds like a plan.
So, what we're doing here is there's some really good thick bedding cover. It's mid-morning, the buck should be in there. I'm gonna go over here and rattle, try to pull one across here for Cole. Hopefully get a shot in this opening. This is super thick, you'd hardly get a shot in there, but if a buck wants to come, he'll come across there. So I'll be over this way, start rattling.
Sounds good.
Okay, a lot of guys are gonna say, rattling, especially during gun hunting season, it's not worth the time or effort and you're gonna spook deer. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you're gonna try a last-ditch effort, you're gonna try a Hail Mary, and in this case, it was a good call by Mark and Cole because they're hunting unpressured deer and they had no other options. So they had nothing to lose here.
Well, other than starting a small stampede, do you see how those cows?
Yeah.
That's what they were doing here. They were sorting calves.
Oh, there's no shortage of cows around.
No. So Keith had showed me around a little bit before he slipped off to his Thanksgiving gathering. In the evening hunt, I just figured that heavier, thicker timber would be a good spot. because it was hot. So I thought, you know, activity might be just a little bit later in the afternoon, right towards sunset.
Right.
And that heavy timber offered good bedding cover and a place for deer just to slip out and show up in the last few minutes of shooting light. Unlike where we were in the morning, which is a little more
Right.
open
And I mean, that's kind of what we thought after the morning hunt. You know, the deer, they were out in the morning, but they kind of locked down again by probably 9 or 9:30.
right.
But going into the afternoon, we had that little bit thicker cover where we went to, and you know, it turned out to work because we'd been sitting there probably 2 hours, and we had a couple bucks come feeding out, a little buck first, and then a couple of 4 points.
I mean, and like this, the morning, it was all does.
Right.
And right now,
And
it's like
right
all
off the bat,
bucks.
we're seeing bucks coming in, so that's already a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little 2-point popped up, and he just walked right out to the feeder. He was probably no more than, you know, 8 yards from the side of the blind we were in, so he just came walking right in. Peeked at the blind, but not really freaked out, and he went over to the feeder. And then before you know it, here come 2 more bucks cruising up. One came out, a 4-point, and then a better one followed him just a few seconds later. I mean, I knew as soon as I saw that second one step out that he's probably going to be a shooter buck.
Right.
And he was.
Yeah.
They both came up. I saw them walking up towards the feeder. You know, they started milling around, getting their head in the corn, and as soon as I got a good shot.
I got him. So the horny bullet did exactly what it was supposed to do at close range or far range. That ELDX bullet is designed to expand. And that bullet was speeding along like the space shuttle.
I mean, we were darn near within archery range on this one.
Right.
So that it may have been a little bit overkill for that range, but I mean, it did the trick on him. He knew he was hit, and he took off speeding through the brush. And there was plenty of blood to follow,
Plenty
too.
of blood,
so-
because that you could tell
Oh,
when we
yeah.
got over there, that exit wound was exactly what that
Yep.
bullet was supposed to do. It
It
expanded
left a hole,
perfectly.
for
And,
sure.
yeah.
It didn't, yeah, he didn't go far. We found him in probably about 100 yards, so.
And then the celebration started.
And then the real Thanksgiving celebration started.
right.
So, right there. Here he is right here.
Oh, there you go. Good job. Yes. Yes.
Didn't make it too far. Yeah, tripped up right here.
Oh, just a nice 4x4. Look at that. Good job, Cole. That's a typical Oklahoma, Texas-style looking buck. They're not different looking than the bucks
Yeah,
we're used
they're
to hunting, aren't they?
not quite like they are back home, but yeah, just walked straight in behind his buddy and stood there right where I needed him to. So 300 PRC did the job.
Well, that usually does.
You know, it might be a little overkill for this,
overkill, but that's you know
better than the opposite.
my whole rule is carry a big stick, and if you lose a little bit of meat, it's not a big deal. You'd rather have a clean, ethical kill than
Yeah,
tracking something.
for sure. All right.
All right, bud. I'm glad we got together for this hunt.
Yeah,
It's our traditional
that's right.
Thanksgiving
I think
hunt.
this is buck number 5 for 5 the last 5 years of Thanksgiving. So
And you get these little windows to do your hunts.
just enough time off. So
Yeah. So it's something you can't just go nuts and think you're going to be shooting Boone and Crockett deer in those little windows. But this is what hunting's all about: just getting together and enjoying a night in the field like this.
for sure.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hang out while you do the field dressing and.
Do your supervision. I'll do the work.
All right. know, this whole COVID stuff just sucks, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's tough.
people are out of work, they're struggling to make ends meet, you know, and the government, for the most part, they're not helping us. But you guys at Hornady have a little bit of flexibility there with ammunition. You got all kinds of different lines, from an economical point of view all the way up to the high-end stuff.
We do, yeah. So, you know, a lot of people get exposed to like the Precision Hunter line, very popular, the Outfitter line, very popular. But one of our best sellers is our American Whitetail line of ammunition. And you'll find it at a better price point that a lot of people can enjoy. So it's tried and true, you know, our Spire Point interlock bullets. They've been super popular whitetail hunters for many decades, and we have them in a very wide variety of loads available pretty much everywhere.
So if a guy's wanting to go whitetail hunting, or a gal, get a little bit of venison, save a little money, put some good meat on the table, American Whitetail's there to save the day.
You don't have to go any further than that.
All right.
Hey guys, today we're with Dan Schultz from Cuddyback. Dan's going to show us how to link a remote camera on the Cuddyback system to the home camera. Dan, show me how it's done.
Sure thing. So when you have a home camera, whether it's non-cell or cell, you've placed it. Now we're going to take and set the remote camera to talk back. It's going to send its pictures to that home camera, and whether I'm going to go pull that card or whether that camera is sending me the pictures to my phone, it works the same way. But one thing that's critical is to make sure that the remote camera is in fact talking to the home.
Right.
If it's not, you're not going to get those pictures, right? And the whole idea of the system is to not have to come back to this camera, that we set it and we don't mess with it. So in the camera, you're going to go to commands, and there's a link menu that obviously is the Cuddy Link menu that we're going to connect with. This camera's got to be on a remote. That's a home remote. And when we have the version 8 firmware, I can have up to 23 remotes talking back to that home. So each camera has its own location ID, and those are unique. Then we're going to set the channel, so whatever that home channel camera has, I've got to match it. Match that up, because that's how it's talking. That's the link network itself that's allowing those cameras to talk. And when I get to the next menu item, it's link level. And what I'll do is I'll let this run, and it's going to blink. You'll see it's just blinking here. That's searching now for the home camera. And it's going to find that camera, and I just need to make sure that when I set this camera that it's at 20 or above. That way I have some leeway that environmental factors, rainy day, a foggy day, things that would knock the signal level down will still allow me to have a good connection between those cameras.
So what happens if that link level goes below and the camera is active?
So if it was below 20, it's not a problem. If it went down to where it was not connected at all, it would still take pictures, and then it would try to reconnect, and when it reconnected, then it would go ahead and send those pictures. That's the beauty of it. Plus it has its own SD card, so that in the event that it can't connect for some reason, let's say the home, something happened, it got damaged, at least it would be saving the pictures so I could come pull the card and get the data. Obviously we want to keep it connected so that it's sending and I don't have to do all that. But so right now the link level is 62. I'm perfect, I'm well within the range that we need. We're going to set the camera here. If I wanted to go further, I could start walking away, and I could watch this level, it would drop. And you know, as long as I keep it at that 20 level. If we set this camera here, and let's say we want to put another camera further away from the home, going away from this, if we got so far away that it couldn't talk to the home, now it would connect to this camera to send back to the home.
So it's going from that camera to this camera to the home camera.
Right. You know, in today's environment, pulling a card is not a problem. It lets you stay away from the other cameras, but getting that to your phone is just more timely. It's a lot more fun because you're kind of living in the moment of what's happening at your property. So that's definitely the way the world seems to be moving, but no doubt when we originally came up with this, the whole idea behind CuddyLink is to allow you to have multiple cameras getting the data and not having to go out to the property and disturb the deer and the wildlife that's there, so that hopefully you have better hunting opportunities.